Welcome back to another episode of Say What Needs to Be Said. I'm your host, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel, two-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Bowler, all-pro, record-breaking cornerback, and the last cornerback to intercept 50 interceptions during the 16-game era seasons. Yeah, clap it up. Sunday night vibes, baby. Yeah, let's get it, man. I was getting a little confused the day of the week, man. We be grinding so hard, grinding so much, man. Yeah, man. And now we're here to take over this podcast era. We took over the NFL, 50 interceptions. They can't compete. Now we're here to take over this podcast space. And yeah, man, we here. Sunday night vibes, man. Y'all tap in. Y'all tap in. Let me bring in my co-host, 2-3 G's.
Let's go.
2-3 G's, man.
Go.
How we feeling, man? How we feeling tonight? Hey, man, y'all tap in. Y'all talk to us, man. We talk back. Y'all know how it go, man. All right, so tonight we are going to talk about the quarterback competition out of all these rookies. Who did the best week one of the preseason? We got Jaxon, we got Shedeur Sanders, we got Cam Ward, we got Tyler Shough. Oh, man, he got a few other things going on this preseason. And also, we have to cover Travis Hunter since we didn't get on last night, Saturday night. Oh, it's going to be a fun night. Sunday night vibes, man. Sunday night vibes. How you feeling over there, 2-3 Dries?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm back. I'm happy to be back to see a lot of football played over this past weekend, man. You had Friday night games, Saturday night games, Sunday night games. Man, it was good to see everybody out there playing, man.
Yeah, man, it's good to see everybody playing. Everybody that played, but we're going to get into that, man. We know everybody didn't play, but we're going to get into that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But now we finally have some data. We've seen pretty much every rookie quarterback play week one of the preseason. Everybody played except for who?
There's only one.
It's pretty much only one. Chat, y'all tell me who didn't play. And we know that's Dillon Gabriel. Of course, Dillon Gabriel is pretty much one of the only top rookie quarterbacks that didn't play. I don't think Will Smith played up there for Pittsburgh Steelers. But what a shame. What a shame. But we're moving forward into week two. Now, we are anxiously waiting to hear who will be the starter next week for the Cleveland Browns, and also who will back up the starter. We want to know.
Gotta know, man.
We gotta know.
Are they hot? They hot in Dillon Gabriel or what? What are they doing right now, man?
I mean, he was quick, like Kevin Stefanski. He was quick to make that announcement about Shedeur Sanders being the starter of this game against the Panthers. So I'm expecting an announcement tomorrow. You know what I mean? I am expecting something tomorrow. My ears is going to be locked in, and I'm going to be listening and waiting to talk about it. You know. But let's get into the day and tonight. Today, the Saints took the field in their first preseason game. All right, clap it up for the Saints. The Saints took the field for their first preseason game, right? And the New Orleans Saints pretty much has the same quarterback competition as the Cleveland Browns. If y'all are unaware or been hiding under a rock somewhere. In terms of who will be the starter, no one on both of these rosters, meaning the Browns rosters and the Saints roster at quarterback, has the title as the starter. But this is another team that passed it on Shedeur Sanders for a quarterback named Tyler Shough.
Right.
Man, it's sad. It's sad to see that every week these quarterbacks playing, and we have to understand they pass on Shedeur Sanders, man. And it's crazy because Shedeur Sanders pretty much looked better than all of the starters on other teams, you know. Yeah. If that's happening, we know something funny is going on. If y'all tell me if I'm wrong, obviously Shedeur Sanders played the most out of pretty much all the quarterbacks, but he looked pretty much the best out of every quarterback that played this in first week. You know, anybody disagree with me? Let me know. You know what I mean?
I don't disagree, but one thing I don't like is people saying, well, it's only preseason. But if he would have did terrible, they would have hopped right on him. Just because he looked good, they try and make excuses for him. No, he only look good because it's preseason. No, my man was out there doing what he normally do.
Yeah, doing what he do. He can't be stopped. You know what I mean? Hey, they trying to stop him, but man, he will prevail. He will prevail. You know what I mean? But you know what? From today, I was really surprised because I was waiting to see Tyler Shough get in this game and play and show what he can do. and he didn't play for a while. They was evaluating Spencer Rattler, and then they threw him in the 2-minute drill. And I like how the Saints threw Tyler Shough in that 2-minute drill during the game, right? I like how they threw him right in that fire. They put that young quarterback to the test right off the bat. I like that. And it gives a chance to see what you got and see how he responds. And Shough responded. He responded as if this is his job, you know? Let me show Spencer Rattler how this offense is supposed to look and how it's supposed to be ran. That's how he looked in the 2-minute drill. I can't lie. He was excellent in that 2-minute drill. He made quick decisions, understood when he needed to get the ball out of his hands, and he avoided any sacks to get them out of the 3-point range. And boom, they got 3 points. That was a good job by the rookie. Give credit when credit is due. Most definitely. But coming out of the second half wasn't so good for Tyler Shough. Why is that, though? He looked so awesome during the first half in the 2-minute drill. Why didn't he look that awesome coming into the second half? You got a clue? Anybody got a clue?
I think he. So after that pick six, I think he answered like, you know, a lot of times after, especially here, Ricky, his first time throwing an interception and then throwing her the pick six too, you could come out there and do terrible. But he came right back and scored led a touchdown drive off the double move because they jumped it the first time. That's how he got that pick six.
Yeah.
And he with the double move that time and scored a touchdown off it. But, you know, that's a good response, honestly, because sometimes you get in your head, start thinking too much and doing too much, missing open passes. So I kind of like that response from after that pick six.
That's a great evaluation that he did bounce back, right? And the cornerback jumped that out route, you know, went for a touchdown, and boom, they seen this man, he's jumping route, so boom, we're going to hit him with a double move. That is a good evaluation. But I don't know. Yeah, he did answer back, but I'm going to break it down.
Go ahead,
and the difference is you got to understand on defense, in the 2-minute drill, there's a lot of soft coverages to prevent any big plays, like we just talking about that double move. So the 2-minute drill is more of a prevention defense. Bend but don't break. So most of the underneath routes are open and uncontested, as you saw, right? So it made it easy for Tyler Shough to have success in the 2-minute drill, right? In the 2-minute drill, Shough started with throws against soft coverage. They made him come out there and started him striking right off the bat. And obviously it's not hard when the throws and the plays are not contested that much, right? But when the Chargers defense ran their normal defensive base coverages, what happened? Shough threw an interception for a touchdown. And he was looking good. He was looking so good in the 2-minute drill, but Shough, he answered back. He answered back with a deep pass for a touchdown. Like you said, they got the cornerback jumping and he bit on the double move. You know, he needed that big play for his confidence. But that wasn't anything so super impressive. Yeah. We caught the cornerback slip and hit him with a double move, and you make the play, right? Now, this competition over here with Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shough, you know, Spencer Rattler, he's just okay.
Right.
He's just okay quarterback, you know? And the Saints, they took too long. They took a long look at him today. That's what they was doing, in my opinion. They was taking a long look at Spencer Rattler today to see if they need to move forward with Tyler Shough, because they need to get Spencer Rattler prepared and determine whether or not he can start this season for the Saints, or should they hand the keys over to the rookie. What I've seen so far, man, you got to hand it over to the rookie, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. He also had like I think was that the third quarter? Well, it was a guy. He missed a guy open on the right hash, and I think the receiver could have made that catch. I don't think he like went after the ball as he should. So it was another nice long ball that he threw that the receiver didn't get, and I think that was on the receiver because I think that was a nice ball that came from him. But he was attacking down the field when he could get a chance. And Spencer Rattler was doing what we seen from Spencer Rattler. He ain't come out no different than what we seen before. So I was more surprised with the backup coming in and doing what he did, because everybody didn't expect nothing from him. We all expected, like, what the hell is the Saints doing drafting this guy? So he did a little bit. He did better than I expected. I expected to come out there and throw some crazy stuff, but he actually looked better than I expected.
Yeah, he did. He did. Like you're saying, he did look better than expected. For Spencer Rattler, he pretty much is the same guy who he was last year, like you said. And Tyler Shough came in and made it offense go. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing about Spencer Rattler, he didn't play well enough last season when he got his chance to take over, right? When Derek Carr went down. And that didn't stop the Saints from drafting a quarterback in the second round. That was his opportunity. Somebody goes down, you have your opportunity now. You need to go produce and perform. Or if you don't, the team may think you're not capable, willing and capable to get things done. And that's why they went and drafted a quarterback in the second round, you know? But how in the world did the Saints pass on Shedeur Sanders is just beyond me, as it's going to always be the topic of discussion. It's like, how did these teams pass on Shedeur Sanders? You know,
I see
damn. Something you can't get back, man. Something you never be able to get back. This is about to be a long season, man. I can see it now. This is about to be a long season. We'll see how the Saints and Tyler Shough continue to develop. But I think they're going to start Tyler Shough eventually. Spencer Rattler is just wasting time, you know.
For sure. But there's a lot of fan bases upset they ain't draft Shedeur Sanders. I mean, I see some Steelers fans crying like, damn, man, we missed out. Saints fans, even Giants fans, even though Jaxon did his thing, but Shedeur Sanders is the hot ticket, man. He's
the hot ticket. Yeah. And we're gonna continue. And tonight, that's what we're doing, man. We're basically talking about all the quarterbacks in comparison to Shedeur Sanders and the good, the bad, how did they play in their games, and so on and so forth. That's what we're here to discuss tonight, along with Travis Hunter. That's what we're gonna get into next, and we're just gonna keep on vibing. And yeah, for the New York Giants, the other day, Jaxson Dart took the field for the first time in that Giants uniform. Dart is another one of those rookie quarterbacks drafted ahead of Shedeur Sanders. Shame on the NFL.
First round draft pick.
First round draft pick, like Big Shaquille O'Neal.
Moved up to go get him.
Pick like Big Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah, man, Dart is another one that was drafted ahead of Shedeur Sanders. What a shame. We'll eventually get over it. We're going to get over it eventually, but just not now. Still preseason. And this is also the same team that the head coach Brian Daboll supposedly had a problem with how Shedeur Sanders handled his pre-draft interviews. Supposedly, right? Rumors started coming out of New York. Shedeur Sanders wasn't prepared. He didn't take interviews serious as the coach would have liked, so on and so forth. At the end of the day, does any of that matter? You know, does any of that matters?
No, man.
You know, none of that matters, because you know why? At the end of the day, Shedeur Sanders was super, very easy to evaluate and understand. He is one of the top 2 quarterback prospects heading into the 2025 NFL draft. That was a no-brainer. Now that he's playing in the preseason games, there is no denying it. Whatever you tried to, the narratives they tried to control before the preseason start, there is no denying it at this point. And like we talked about tomorrow, man, I bet Kevin Stefanski is pissed he started Shedeur Sanders in that first preseason game. And why? Like, you know, but I bet he is so pissed he started Shedeur Sanders in that first preseason game when he was so confident that, yeah, I'm going to let him start with the 2s and 3s. I'm going to throw him in the fire. We're not going to babysit him. We're taking the training wheels off, and we're going to let him go. He was only getting 1 and 2 reps in practice, and let's just see what he's made of. And I'm sure that backfired, and he's pissed off about that, you know. But now Kevin Stefanski, he has to deal with a lot of scrutiny, right? He will be scrutinized about where he stands with Shedeur, and he understands this is one of those situations he can't run and hide from, because everybody is looking for accountability. Mm-hmm. So he can't hide from this. This is loud and proud. Everyone wants to see and know about Shedeur Sanders. So that's holding him accountable. He can't run and hide. Now, this can also become one of those situations where players start to question coach the coach's motives if Shedeur Sanders isn't vetted properly in this quarterback competition. They don't want them issues. You don't want your players to start questioning the coaches and the leaders on this team. Like, what are we doing? Why isn't Shedeur playing? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the big one. Here's the kicker. Don't let Big Myles Garrett start feeling the way about Shedeur Sanders being the starter and decide to confront the coaches and the decision makers about Shedeur competing for QB1. They don't want no problems after they just stroked that check $160 million. They don't want the one who they put all the eggs in one basket for, drafted him top 2-3 picks in the NFL draft. You know, they don't want Big Myles Garrett to have no problem, right? But you know what? That's probably what we need to do.
It's gonna come from everywhere. It's gonna come from social media, the crowd, the city of Cleveland, all the other cities, man. It's gonna be a big problem especially if they got somebody, whoever they're gonna have starting losing.
Yeah.
You're gonna have
but just think about that, man.
out there.
Just think about that. One of your favorite players, one of the players that you invested into, he's a freak of nature. He's one of the best at his position, you know. And just imagine him coming into your office as the coach, confronting you about this young quarterback that he thinks he should be starting. That will be very problematic. But that's probably what we need to do. We probably need to start calling on Myles Garrett to confront the decision makers about Shedeur Sanders. But not yet. We'll wait.
Not yet.
We'll wait until next week to see how things go before we call on Myles Garrett to start confronting these decision makers and Kevin Stefanski, so on and so forth. If Shedeur Sanders isn't handled right this upcoming week. I don't know how long you think we're supposed to wait, because we need to see results right now. But at the end of the day, man, you know, I'm so proud of Shedeur from the moment he was selected in the 5th round all the way up to now. How he handles every moment with respect and humility, right? After all he's been through trying to make his dreams come true. I'm very proud of Shedeur. This is not easy, you know, because there's this dude in Cleveland, man, this guy named Tony Grossi. And he has been hating on Shedeur from the time Shedeur arrived in Cleveland, like with so much unwarranted hate, right? It's unnecessary. And every negative narrative that I talked about the other night was supported by this dude. Shedeur pats the ball. He can't get the ball quick. He's not athletic, so on and so forth. Tony Grossi. This guy, Tony Grossi, he thought Shedeur would fail. I don't know why, for no apparent reason. He just wanted Shedeur Sanders to fail for some apparent reason. But guess what? Shedeur caught this man in the tunnel heading back to the locker room and confronted this man. And let's check it out.
Tony, I be hoping you got something positive to say about me. You always say negative stuff about me. And I'm like, I ain't do nothing to you. No. I ain't see nothing positive that you ever said. I did some positive everything. What I'm saying? Come on, Tony. What I do to you, Tony?
What you think about that, Dries? What you think about that conversation?
I want to say, clap it up for Shedeur, man. He handled that perfectly, man. You know what I mean? Just confront him on some nice and calm with a smile on his face. Man, what I do, man? Just let me know what I did for you to say everything negative about me. And honestly, from that, he probably build a little different relationship with him. He probably respects Shedeur more. Going to second guess always talking that negative stuff about him, because in his heart he probably just found out he really is a good kid. Like
exactly,
if a person was in a bad state of mind, they would have talked to him totally different. So I feel like he probably gained some respect for him coming at him like that in that type of way. But yeah, man, hats off to Shedeur the way he handled it. That was perfect.
Yeah, hats off to Shedeur, man. I always like to clap it up, man, for the people that I think that deserves a clap. And Shedeur definitely deserves a clap, as well as Coach Prime and the Sanders family. Man, Coach Prime, he raised some excellent young men, man. Excellent young man. Like you say, man, that was a well-raised young man right there. And what he did to Tony Grassi at that moment right there is he killed him with kindness. Killed him with kindness. Tony Grassi don't have no choice but to respect Shedeur Sanders after that. He has to turn the table and start rooting for Shedeur Sanders. I guarantee you, I've been in those same predicaments. When I got to Philadelphia, before I even started playing, there was this guy just was coming at me and hating on me for no reason. And I patronized him for 6 months straight, every day of the week. You don't play like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
At least give me the chance first. But this isn't about me. This is about Shedeur, right? Now, everything that Shedeur is going through, all the negative talks and connotations and drafts and everything that is going on negative about Shedeur Sanders, right? The adversity Shedeur is dealing with is only going to make him more of an iconic figure in our world and continue to push everyone to support Shedeur Sanders. That's all that is happening to complete this legend. You know what I mean? This young man is going to be one of the most popular and famous men in our culture, right? He's going to be one of the most popular and famous athletes in our culture, probably men in general.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's rooting for him, from the LeBron James to A-list celebrities tweeting, you know. It gives you motivation when you see this stuff like this happening, you know?
All right.
But at the end of the day, I still don't trust the Cleveland Browns for Shedeur Sanders. Dang, man, that's a tough pill to swallow. Does anyone out there trust the Cleveland Browns and they feel like they're going to do what they need to, the right thing about Shedeur Sanders?
I don't think nobody do, man.
I think that's hard
they move too funny, man. You can never predict what's coming next. And just like this past week, they signed another quarterback. Like you never know with them, man. You never know.
They move so funny, you know what I mean? But as far as for now, you know, things are going to plan, according to plan, right? Not the Cleveland Browns plan, but the God's plan and what is for Shedeur Sanders. Everything is going according to plan. And next week, we are expecting quality reps for Shedeur Sanders against the Eagles. Right? Right? Everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Throw the 12s up if we're expecting quality reps for Shedeur Sanders against the Eagles. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What? I don't know what else is supposed to happen. The first preseason game was a little tough, right? I mean, wasn't that tough? Was it, you know, let me backtrack. It was tough for Shedeur, but the Panthers is, quote unquote, not that tough of a team. Now, coming in this week is going to be a tough challenge. We don't know when he's going to get in the game, and hopefully we're going to find out tomorrow. But if you rise to the occasion against the Eagles, it don't matter if the ones or twos are playing, whatever, so on and so forth, you know, this can definitely solidify and put the stamp on whether or not Shedeur Sanders should be the starter. I already know and feel he should be the starter. I don't know how everybody else feel. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, how does Kevin Stefanski evaluate 4 quarterbacks properly? And Dylan Gabriel still hasn't played yet as a rookie quarterback. How is this supposed to transpire? How is this supposed to how are you supposed to figure this out? This is one of the most unique, craziest situations I've ever witnessed in the NFL, man. I can't lie to you. You know, I can't lie to you. There are only 2 preseason games left, right? They only play 3 preseason games now. It's only 2 left. So how can Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders all get quality reps to be properly evaluated?
That's hard.
I don't see it possible. As an NFL player, ex-NFL player, coaches have a certain amount of time to get through practice, and each period is about 15 minutes. I don't see it possible, you know. But I know what? I know this situation has been playing heavy on Kevin Stefanski's mind on what he needs to do next or what he should do next, because he got himself in a situation he didn't expect himself to be caught up in. Like I said, he should be announcing the starter for next week preseason game no later than Tuesday morning. I'm gonna give him a little extra time. No later than Tuesday morning. I say Monday, but we're gonna give him the Tuesday.
Yeah, I know they got this week coming up. They got 2 joint practices with the Eagles on Monday and Tuesday. Do you think after that second practice he'll name who's the starter going to be?
Oh
That's what it need to
man,
be.
Probably so.
After
I
that,
guess so. But the funny thing about it, he probably want to see how Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett looking in practice before he decide if he want to name Shedeur Sanders the starter, if you know what I mean. You know, trying to give a little heads up. Because like I say, I don't trust the Cleveland Browns, man. I don't trust the Cleveland Browns. But in my opinion, against the Eagles, the order of play should go Shedeur Sanders first, then Dylan Gabriel. Let these two battle it out because these two are possibly the future of the Cleveland Browns. Let these two battle it out, right? Even if they want to start Dylan Gabriel out at first, that's fine as well.
I want them to start Dylan Gabriel first.
Yeah, they can start out with Dylan Gabriel. Let him start
Let him out there.
Dogs. Let him go run up against them dogs. You know what I mean? Yeah, then they can go from there. But
something important you said before is when Shedeur is out there, he ain't just playing for like the Browns. Not only the Browns team, but 31 other teams is also evaluating to see what he's doing. So I mean, this is a great audition tape right here. So if it don't work out for the Cleveland Browns, somebody could go get him, man.
Yeah, that's how it goes for pretty much all the players in the NFL. We all have to tell ourselves that, man, we're not just playing for this team. This team might not like us. It's 32 other teams that we're putting tape out on the field for. So for Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, all of them, you're not just playing for this one team. You're playing for 32 other teams, and hopefully you can get someone to like you, you know. But like you said, man, the Browns can let Dylan Gabriel take the field first with the ones against the Eagles, and I don't see him out playing Shedeur. But it'll be a fair evaluation. I'm not sure he wants that, but I watch when he comes in the game. I'm not going to talk about the game right now because it's a little too early. But I already know what's going to happen as far as Dylan Gabriel and how they're going to try to use him. You know, but either way, I think it's fair for evaluation purposes. However they want to use these two quarterbacks, whoever's starter, whoever's the backup, it's fair. You know, but at some point, if they choose not to let Dylan Gabriel play, he has to play. At some point, Dylan Gabriel has to play. At some point. Always remember, man, whoever is responsible for drafting Dylan Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders, their credibility is on the line. That is big in their world as scouts and general managers, you know, and their resume and things like that. Their credibility is on the line. And when the competition is complete, I am sounding off on the fool who thought Shedeur Sanders wasn't worthy enough of a third-round pick or better. Yes, sir. Somebody is trying to protect that credibility. Don't worry. I will find out who was responsible for drafting and thinking Shedeur Sanders isn't worthy of being a third-round pick or better. You know, I'm definitely gonna sound off. You know,
you got a lot of people sound off on that passed up on them.
Tell me about it. I've been going at it already. You know, one by one, I'm knocking them down. You know, but if somehow this Dylan Gabriel guy doesn't play, man,
he got to,
right? He has to.
Got to.
But I'm telling you, man, think about it. All right, everybody think of. Put on your general manager cap, right? You too, Drees, right? You're in the NFL draft. You got all these quarterbacks, right? Now you have two particular quarterbacks, or you know, however many quarterbacks, but you got your eyes on two: Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, right? Your boss man is the owner of the team, and I guess you're the general manager, and then you got the head coach, right? And you decide, I want to take this quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, because he is the third, fourth best quarterback in the NFL draft. Shedeur Sanders is like the 10th on our board, right? Now, we draft Dylan Gabriel because he's the fourth quarterback on our board. Then somehow the 10th quarterback is available in the 5th round and we take him. So I have both of these quarterbacks. But now I'm letting them compete, and the 5th rounder is making the 3rd rounder look absolutely Horrible. So now I have to answer when it's time for me to do my review and me be evaluated for the work I've done for my boss. How did you decide Dillon Gabriel was better than Shedeur Sanders? How did you waste the 3rd round pick on Dillon Gabriel when we should have taken Shedeur Sanders? That's how that goes. You know?
And that's how you flip it right here. Hey man, listen, Dillon Gabriel was the better quarterback, but we evaluated him and we got Shedeur in the 5th round. We found out that he's the better quarterback. That's a steal right there. I was wrong. We got a steal right there. So I need a little bit more praise than when I got, man. Dillon Gabriel was, well, he not who we thought he was. He ended up falling off. So, I mean, I got a steal in the 5th round with Shedeur Sanders, man. He's our guy. Shedeur's our guy.
However you want to look at it. You can look at it like that. At the end of the day, man, I don't think this week is going to make it.
You got to flip the script, man. Say, I got the steal. You got to change it to like, I messed up on that, but I still was able to get him, so I got the steal.
I made one. I made a great steal in this draft, so commend me for that. You understand what I'm saying? But I think it's fishy what's fishy going on because I really believe Kevin Stefanski hasn't built up enough confidence in Dillon Gabriel to put him out there right now. And this week is not going to make it no better in these joint practices, in my opinion. I think they don't want to put him out there and keep themselves from being embarrassed. I really do believe that. Because the plays they need to design for Dillon Gabriel, I'm not going to get into it. I really want to, but I'm not going to get into it tonight. But, you know, we keep on moving forward. We're going to keep on pushing. But it looks like, man, the Giants had their man in Jaxson Dart. I like Jaxson Dart, and I like what I saw. But it's not all about Jaxson Dart. Understand that. You know what I mean? Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll is a hell of a coordinator, a hell of a developer. And he did a good job with Daniel Jones. With the limited capabilities that Daniel Jones had, Brian Daboll did a good job getting Daniel Jones to where he needed to be, right? I wonder, how does Brian Daboll genuinely feel after watching Shedeur Sanders' performance? How do y'all think he feel? How does Brian Daboll, the one that complained about the interview process, him not being prepared, not taking things serious, how did he feel after watching Shedeur Sanders just completely go off? I know it had to touch him a little bit because, you know, he had the opportunity for him to be that quarterback.
All right.
Does he have any regret not drafting Shedeur Sanders and taking Jaxson Dart? I guess only time will tell. We will only see, you know. But I can't lie, man. Jaxson Dart looked pretty good today. The other day. Jaxson Dart looked pretty good. I can't lie. He did a great job finding the open targets and delivering the pass. Dart's accuracy was off on a few throws, but that's normal for a rookie. All the rookie quarterbacks was off on a few throws. But I'm not completely sold on Dart's performance, even though it was a great performance. Like I said, Brian Daboll is really good at developing quarterbacks. Dart made good decisions, but those plays look like one-play reads, meaning Daboll didn't make things difficult for Jaxson Dart. He had one-play reads, right? And that means like one-play read is I'm designing this play for you have one option to throw the ball to pretty much, and this play is designed to get that man open. So that was what Jaxson Dart had to deal with a little bit. Mm-hmm. And the plays were designed for that specific one person, right? So I give him a little credit, but not too much credit. It wasn't what Shedeur Sanders had to do, right? It's a good start for Jaxson Dart and Brian Daboll, the development process and things like that as a rookie quarterback, especially one that is not a Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. You got to really develop these quarterbacks that, you know, isn't that talented.
I feel like Jaxson Dart is in a perfect position. I mean, you got Russell Wilson there, old veteran quarterback. He could be under his wing. He signed up for 1 year. So honestly, I don't feel like he has to be the day one starter. He still can learn and develop under him. 100%. And once his time comes, I feel like he'll be comfortable enough, understand the game a little bit more, and because he kind of did better than I expected as well too. You know, but
100%.
I don't think he got to be thrown in the fire though, man. Just let him learn as much as he can under Russ. I mean, just about being a leader, not even just on the field stuff, but being a leader in the locker room, be able to control your team and be that guy that your team needs you to be. So I feel like he like in a perfect situation where he don't have to be thrown in the fire and like try to make it work, where he could actually develop a little bit underneath with a great coach and a quarterback who's done it before. So I think I think it's gonna work out good for him.
Yeah, 100%. It's just amazing to me that like how
But a first round draft pick, I don't know. I don't know about
that. Like I say, but it's just amazing to me how everybody else is kind of eased into that. I know Shedeur's the 5th round draft pick, quote unquote, or whatever. But he was thrown in that fire with no limitations, you know. Yeah. But let's check out these stats, and we're gonna decide what do we think right here. All right, we got Tyler Shough right here. His night, he went 15 to 22, 165 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 86 passer rate. It wasn't that bad for a rookie. All right, Jaxon Dart, who we talking about? Jaxon Dart, 12 of 19, 154 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 106 passer rating. I don't think none of these quarterbacks took any sacks. Well, probably Tyler Shough did, but
yeah, he did.
Of course, we know what did Shedeur Sanders did. The one negative thing that I hate about this is the 2 sacks, right? Something that followed him since college. He's give up a lot of sacks, but he's going to continue to get better on that. Mm-hmm. Who was the better quarterback in their debut out of these quarterbacks? Is that even a question? Why am I even asking that?
Yeah, that's not the question.
That, you know what I mean? But I want to give credit to Dart because Dart definitely was outstanding. And like I said, I always like to give Brian Daboll credit for doing a good job developing quarterbacks. If y'all don't know, he was the one that was responsible out there in Buffalo for Josh Allen and so on and so forth. So he's doing it again with Jaxon Dart. Shedeur stole the show over the weekend, man. Shedeur absolutely stole the show over the weekend and had the internet in a frenzy, man. He broke the internet. I don't think anyone outplayed Shedeur. No one did outplay Shedeur. No one at all. Shedeur's performance was so amazing for a rookie or even a vet in that first preseason game. I'm just so proud of Shedeur. Jaxon Dart was also outstanding, surprisingly. As we know, competition will get tougher and defensive schemes will be more hard to recognize for these young gunners heading into the future and where they stand for the regular season, man.
I think this whole Shedeur situation made preseason more exciting than it's ever been. Like everybody been tuned into like all the quarterbacks that's been like selected in front of him and tuned into him, and I feel like it's been so much excitement around preseason more than usual just because of Shedeur getting drafted in the 5th round.
100%. Shedeur Sanders has the economy basically ringing. He has the internet economy ringing. He has the jersey economy ringing. He's got stuff ringing, man. His name holds weight, man, big weight. So shout out to those guys, man. And another surprise, J.J. McCarthy, man, from the Minnesota Vikings. He looked pretty good. He was very limited, but I was surprised at him. He looked very composed. You know, he looked very comfortable running the Vikings offense, you know. And remember, the Vikings, they let go of Sam Darnold last season. They let Sam Darnold walk and become a free agent. And now he's with the Seattle Seahawks. So this is very important for the Minnesota Vikings to have another franchise quarterback because they had one right in their lap. And he had just led them to an outstanding season and the playoffs. I watched the Vikings a lot last season, and they was on one. So shout out to J.J. McCarthy, played pretty good. Cam Ward, we know. Cam Ward didn't play that much, but Cam Ward, man, let me tell you, Cam Ward looked absolutely comfortable, composed. What's that word that Coach Prime likes to use? Unflappable. You know, he looked all of those things. And let me tell you, when we watching Cam Ward right now, we are doing nothing but witnessing Steve McNair all over again. Aaron McNair. They look completely the same, man. This looks almost identical, you know what I mean? But Friday night, Cam Ward is back on the scene. and he is in primetime football. So I can't wait to check Cam Ward out, man. We got to see Cam Ward go to work, baby.
Right.
That's right. That's right. What's up, chat? How we feeling out there? How are we feeling? What do we think about the quarterback competition? The quarterbacks that was drafted ahead of Shedeur Sanders, and how did they do week 1, man? Was anybody impressive? I guess everyone would say Jaxon Dart. Tyler Shough was pretty good during the two-minute drill. I was surprised they threw him right in there in the 2-minute drill, man.
I feel like it was perfect for him, man. See what he could do. Good. And he put some points up on the board. So he did do a little something.
All right, man. Let's get into this Travis Hunter, man. And we've been waiting to see this freak of nature athlete, man. Old Travis Hunter to show us he can play both offense and defense at a high level on a consistent basis at the next level. And that day has came, just a little glimpse of it. Got a little glimpse of it. Got a little glimpse. I can't lie, man. Following this journey, the Jaguars have me believing that they are ready and willing to let Travis Hunter, flourish on both sides of the football. But is it going to be possible? Is it going to be productive? Or will it end up being counterproductive? Again, here is another product of Coach Prime with the spotlight on them, man. In the NFL, it's absolutely a beautiful thing. Coach Prime had these kids these young men in the NFL, and the spotlight is on them because he came from their program. Clap it up, Coach Prime. You know what I mean? But what I've learned that was so impressive from Coach Prime is how he used Travis Hunter in that tempo practice on both sides of the ball. If y'all saw me and Coach Prime interview, we talked about it. Meaning, basically, he was practicing offense and defense on both sides of the ball while there was no huddle, if you didn't understand. So in Coach Prime practices, Hunter didn't have much time to rest, basically what that means. And I see that as a good strategy to get him in shape and to be able to play both sides of the football. That is a very good strategy. I didn't realize that. Coach Prime never even told no one about that until he came on Say What Needs to Be Said. But I like the concept so far for the Jaguars of how they're using Travis Hunter on offense. They are designing catch and run plays for Hunter, and the significance in that is it can help reserve a lot of Travis Hunter energy when it's time for him to go play on defense, because they're going to need him on defense. Jacksonville Jaguars are definitely going to need Travis Hunter a lot on defense, At the same time, it's giving Travis Hunter a chance to ease into the offense, especially with Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. Good Lord, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. Jesus, that's a scary sight right there, Good thing, man. That was a vet at receiver on the end of Trevor Lawrence throwing that hospital ball. You know what I mean? Good thing that was Brian Thomas out there.
Ball.
And he's okay, because that was nothing but a hospital ball. Because if that would have been Travis Hunter, he put out there and trying to send him into the paramedics, he probably would have been traumatized, man. Probably wouldn't want to play receiver no more after that, man. Trevor Lawrence is a problem, man. Trevor Lawrence is an issue. And shout out to my lawyer, man. He's a big Jacksonville Jaguars fan, and I give him hell about Trevor Lawrence. At the end of the day, sadly, Trevor Lawrence holds the key to these receiver success in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. The decision makings out there is scary. Whether he's a dog or not is scary. All these things are scary when it comes to Trevor Lawrence, and people have to depend on him to be successful. But here is Coach Liam Cohen speaking about the process of transition and Travis Hunter playing offense and defense as a pro. I think it's pretty interesting. Let's get into this right here, man. We got to check this out. It says for Travis, this is Liam Cohen, the head coach. It says for Travis, it's very normal. It's kind of what we've been used to, what he's been used to. For us, this has been an organizational decision in a lot of ways where everybody, as you saw during practice, has to be on board, Cohen said. It's been a challenge, but it's been a fun challenge to say, okay, this worked. maybe we need to tweak this. Hey, you can't give them too many days on the opposite side without going on the other. That's a big statement. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
You can't give them too many days on the opposite side without going on the other. That's an important statement right there. And that's what we're going to key in. That statement right there can end up being a problem. Because I could see now, man, Travis Hunter playing both ways is going to slow down the process of him being able to master one of those positions, either receiver or cornerback. Cornerback is a very technical position, and his technique and footwork won't be as sharp as it should be playing cornerback if he's splitting time at receiver until Travis Hunter consistently get those reps at cornerback. You have to rep day in and day out to keep your technique consistent and sharp, right? But the best part about the Jaguars drafting Travis Hunter to play cornerback and receiver is he can be at 60% and he's still the best cornerback on that team.
That's interesting hearing it coming from the coach, though. I just thought about it like, how do you even like practice for him to do both spots, especially like going to the NFL, learning a whole new offense, learning like the whole defense and the schemes and all that stuff like that. If you was the head coach, how would you like put him out there for practice, and what side would you put him on more?
It would be very difficult. Like you say, it's very difficult, and it has to be very trying because you have different schemes every week. You have only a limited amount of time. You have offensive meetings. You have defensive meetings. We need to go over this technique that you didn't do right yesterday, but you're over in the defensive meetings. So there's so many different moving parts that needs to be handled, and I just think it's going to end up holding him back and stopping him from being such a excellent or great player trying to just accomplish being a two-way player. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's better to be elite at one position instead of being normal at two positions, at both positions. And I think that's what this leading to, because I know it's cool. You can have all the energy and work as hard as you want. But in the NFL, man, trying to play and master two positions, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
That's why it hasn't been done yet on a consistent basis. Yeah, you can sprinkle them in, play here, play there, in different positions, but you can't consistently depend. That's the key word. You can't consistently depend on Travis Hunter to play both sides of the ball. You can design certain plays and concepts, but you can't absolutely depend on it. You know?
Man, if I had to guess, man, I think he like for the season, if we had to like choose on which side you think he's gonna play more, I think they're gonna put him more at receiver than defense. I think they will.
I think so, and that's obviously where I see the Jaguars want him and want to establish him on defense, but his heart is in offense. Offense and wide receiver is that fun position. So scoring touchdowns, catching the ball, being able to celebrate, all those type of things are fun. And I think that's the part of the game he don't want to let go. Yeah, because he's a natural talent at cornerback, no doubt about it. You know,
all right.
And like I said, the Jaguars secondary was just absolutely horrible a season ago. So he's definitely going to be an upgrade to the defense regardless. But Travis Hunter, if he wants to establish himself as one of the best, he will need more experience and reps to go through the ups and downs you need to go through at cornerback and understand what you did wrong in certain plays or certain games so you can correct it the next game. So for instance, right, when you said you brought up a good point, right, against the Chargers and the Saints, Tyler Shough throws the interception, the guy jumps the route. What do you think is going to happen next? We see that they're jumping the route. We see that he's playing tight. We're going to do a double move. So Travis Hunter has to understand little things like that. Tight coverage. I just made a great play. Okay, the next play, I have to watch out. They're coming back for a double move. So there's so many different nuances and things they have to learn like that. Just getting the reps and playing, you know?
Right.
You know, because in my opinion, and you tell me what do you think, y'all let me know also in the chat. In my opinion, cornerback is the second hardest position to play behind quarterback. Could be tied, but
I feel the same exact way.
It could be tied for number one, or it could just be the hardest. But the quarterback has a lot of responsibilities. That's the only thing that is more challenging than cornerback. Cornerback physically is more challenging. You know, the running backwards and covering somebody running forward is probably one of the most odd things to do in life. Yeah.
Right. And that's like what they say. Like they know where they're going. You don't. You gotta figure out where they're going.
Yeah, exactly. But Travis Hunter was able to get away with playing both sides of the ball for so long, and we do this in Little League, high school. He kept it going into college, right? And on the high school level and college level, it's much easier, right? It's easier to get away with being a two-way player, just being a super athlete. And that's what Travis Hunter is. He's a freak of nature type of athlete, and he's a super duper athlete. But when it comes to the professional level, and everyone is a super athlete and is talented, it takes more time and preparation to understand how to gain these edges or gain the edge against your opponents. You know what I mean? To be the elite. So trying to split this time again is going to be very troublesome, right? Now, at times, he can go in there at cornerback and just be an athlete and make plays left and right. He can always do that. But if y'all seen the game where they ran a slant route on him, if they hit that wide receiver on that slant route in mid form, he'll be chasing that wide receiver all the way down to the 10-yard line. And then his body will be wore out after that play. You understand? But he has to understand the technique and the footing so he doesn't give up that play, those type of plays.
Right.
You know, every aspect you could contest to this. Every aspect of playing cornerback burns energy, from controlling the receiver when the cornerback and the receiver locks up on run plays, trying to shed the receiver, you know, to run into the football. You got to run to the football, and then you got to cover the receivers when the football isn't even coming your way. You playing them hard every play. You ran a route, you cover them because you don't know when the football comes. So every aspect of playing cornerback for Travis Hunter, it burns a lot of energy, right? And
man, then going to receiver, and then going to receiver and run them routes too.
Right, exactly. But on high school and in college, it's not as exerting, right? You're not burning as much energy because it's not as challenging, because everyone isn't as athletic or doesn't have the same abilities that you have. But now we're talking about on the pro level, everything is times 2. You have to burn that energy that you used to burn in times 2. Now, how do you deal and handle that? You know, I think there will be a hard push for the Jaguars and Travis Hunter to try to sustain Travis Hunter being a two-way player, right? I think there will continue to be a hard push. Right. But eventually, man, he's going to understand and he will submit to being a one-way player eventually and spend the majority of his time at one position, because he's going to realize, first of all, you don't get paid, you don't get compensated properly for playing both sides of the ball. And then you're going to say, man, I'm burning too much energy. It's going to happen.
Just think about it. Just think about it, right? Playing against Denver Broncos, you on offense, and then you got Patrick Surtain, big ass, trying to jam you up and playing with you at the line of scrimmage, and then you go on offense. I mean, then you go on defense. They gotta stop Sutton. Sutton is like 6'6", 6'7" receiver. Like that's hard work going both ways against a big corner and a big receiver.
It's so many different scenarios that we don't realize, or people don't realize, that it's just so challenging. And that's why I wanted to bring up the part about burning energy. When I'm locking up with a receiver, and just say the receiver's bigger than me. I'm Travis Hunter, I'm 6'1", 190 pounds, right? I'm locking up, I don't know, give me a receiver. DK Metcalf, right? 6'3", 220 pounds. He has a leverage and a strength. Me trying to fight him, all those little things right there burn energy. And you're telling me right after me going on a 2-series drive that I need to go on offense and play at a high level for Trevor Lawrence, who's throwing hospital balls out there? I can't be out there with no hospital balls.
Then you got Jalen Ramsey on the other side doing that same thing back to you.
Exactly. You know, now I have to work extra hard 2 times harder than I had to work in college to get off these jams. You know, so it's a trickle down effect. You know, it's a trickle down effect. But I hope Travis Hunter proves me wrong at the end of the day, and I hope he becomes an all-pro at both positions. If he ever accomplished that, that would just be absolutely amazing. I'm not going to even say all-pro. If he can have 1,000 yards, 1,000 receiving yards at receiver, and 5+ interceptions at cornerback, man, my hat's off to that young man. That'd
be crazy to watch.
Official some type of war, you know what I mean? But we're gonna continue to see what happens and see how the Jaguars handle Travis Hunter in the future, you know what I mean? But I wanted to touch on the New York Jets and Justin Fields because I just think Justin Fields just don't have it in him. And these teams keep trying to recycle old dogs and teach them new tricks, and it just ain't gonna happen. But the thing that you can do with Justin Fields, and I want to touch on this, is Justin Fields needs to use his legs more this season. Make him more of a physical running quarterback, and that will help him be more successful. Aaron Glenn already said he wants to be a run-first physical team, right? Because at this point in Justin Fields' career, he will never be an accurate passing quarterback, no matter who he plays for. He just doesn't have it in him. He's not an accurate passing quarterback, right? Those simple timing routes, you know, are hard for Justin Fields to complete. And that sucks for the Jets because they have one of the most talented teams in the NFL. And one of the most talented players in receiver, Garrett Wilson. If y'all didn't see, me and DJ Reed had this conversation about that. I really think Garrett Wilson for the New York Jets is one of the most talented receivers in the NFL, but we're never going to get to witness it because he continues to have these slap D quarterbacks, you know, and Justin Fields doesn't make it any better. If Justin Fields got to play with Garrett Wilson in college, and Garrett Wilson was his #1 receiver, and he still can't get it right in the NFL with his old receiver from college, something is not right, man. Just give up. You know, something ain't right. Give up. Justin Fields just can't be a productive quarterback in the NFL unless they try to make him more of a running quarterback. Start him off how they did with Lamar Jackson, more physical, more of a doggish type running back, quarterback, right? It's kind of like the second running back on the team. But again, Lamar Jackson's from Florida. I don't know where Justin Fields from. Justin Fields didn't seem like last season he was too happy to be running the ball and trying to be that physical specimen of a player, you know? So I don't know, man. The New York Jets, shoot, Justin Fields, it's all about Shedeur, man. All these teams could use Shedeur, man.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. So no games tomorrow night. See what we'll be back on, but Friday night, Tennessee Titans, Cam Ward is back in the building. Then you know Saturday, 1 o'clock Eastern, Philadelphia Eagles versus the Cleveland Browns, right? So we'll be tuned in and we'll be back, maybe. Sunday Night Vibes. I'm your host, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel, and that is
2-3 Drees, baby. What's up?
2-3 Drees, and we'll see y'all next time. We are out.